Hey everybody, TacticAngel here, back on the PlayStation 4, talking about some World of Warships Legends. Sorry for posting a second video in one day, but we got some good news out of Gamescon, and I was just a little too excited to share it. So I want to do that. I also have a takeaway from the last live stream that Wargaming put up last week, and I wanted to briefly touch on the missions that we have. In the background, you'll see me playing the DeGrasse. You can expect my review of this premium ship on Friday, in case you were wondering. But let's jump right into it. Gamescon, Köln, Deutschland, or as we would know it, Cologne, Germany. The stage is set for Wargaming to make several announcements. First, there were 2 hours of boats on PC. Long story short, submarines. And they promised that they're going to be a little more careful than they were with the carrier rework. Then, Legends. And I wasn't expecting this. I honestly wasn't expecting anything. I thought Ticana and Filigula and Calypso were all going to just have a good time and represent. But instead what we got were actually several announcements. So I'm going to talk about it in the order that I want to. First, console crossplay. For those of you who have lamented purchasing an Xbox because some other people play on PlayStation, feel assured in the purchase of your chosen console. For those of you Microsoft fans who want to try to murder me, I see you too. Well, congratulations, sir. The longer you play, the greater the probability that you achieve that goal reaches statistical certainty. We're all winners, and in particular, this will probably also help the queue times, which aren't actually all that bad, except for occasionally at Tier 7. So they should on average be a little bit quicker, and I am personally very excited about this because it just gives me more people to shoot at and a little bit more variety, and it's all a good time. We can finally be one big, happy console family. Then, as we might have predicted, the French are coming. That's pretty surprising to me too, though probably a little bit less surprising if you were considering that the DeGrasse is in the game already, and they have made no real promises about how much of the French are really going to show up. So it could be one line, it could be all of the lines, who knows. But in the Discord message, if that's any indication, we'll probably be seeing the Jean Bar. And now, what you really care about. Yes, that's right. Pay attention to the carefully worded statement here, though. Yamato. Yes, you heard it right. We now officially confirm that the legendary battleship Yamato will make her way in a test event at the end of the year. So to me what this sounds like is that they are going to have some sort of event to test whether or not the Yamato is actually working, rather than leaving it to the internal testing or to the folks on the Super Test server. Given the size of its 18-inch guns, it's certainly understandable that Wargaming would be a little bit concerned that she might be pretty game-breakingly powerful. In any case, it's a step in the right direction for those of you who really want to play her, but I don't want to hype this too much because, as I read it, this is more of a trial run rather than an actual release. Next, we're actually going to be getting the traditional Halloween event, which is Escort the Transylvania, and in this mode there is the horrific battleship Rasputin, which has about 1 billion hit points. I've left a link in the description to the original trailer if you want to check that out, but the other thing that Wargaming did say is that they were going to release about the same time a special Halloween-themed earnable ship. So I imagine that means it might be part of a campaign. I think we'll just probably have to sit tight for a little while before we hear more about what this is going to be. Last but not least, it is actually least. The Japanese cruiser Agato is slated to appear in one of the campaigns. So hopefully at least one of the campaigns is a little less backbreaking than the Tirpitz, because it sounds like we have a lot to look forward to by the end of this year. So that's all from Gamescom. I've left a link to the 5-hour video in the description, but don't worry, the last 2 hours at least is a concert by Bombshell and everyone's favorite, Sabaton. Now that I've given you the good news, it's time for you to take your medicine and probably downvote this video, not because I'm going to tell you something that isn't the truth, but because everyone likes to shoot the messenger. In Wargaming's latest stream, they stated that aircraft carriers will be looked at for 2020, but there is a chance that they may not be added to Legends at all. I know I have streamed several times the gameplay of the PC version, particularly the aircraft carriers, and I can tell you from experience that the experience with carriers on the PC tends to flip back and forth pretty wildly, from carriers being just too good to carriers being essentially worthless. As for submarines, Feligula said that they're kind of too far off to tell whether or not they would implement them, and really, we're kind of lucky in both cases here, because it's better that they don't break the game with CVs or submarines if they're going to make the game less fun for everybody. So in my book, this is actually probably still good news, but for some of you, I know it may be disappointing. Some of you really want to see those CVs out there. Obviously, submarines are an interesting idea if they can make them work right, but for my money, I'd prefer that they let the so-called PC master race sort it out, and we can enjoy our surface boats for now, and maybe get those extra things once they're actually fun to play. Then finally, we can touch on the Tirpitz campaign week 2. So, the missions are exactly the same. So all the whining that I did in my last video about this, which I will link in the description, still applies. But all of the suggestions that I provided also still apply. So another good reason why I link it in the description. That said, as much as I might have been not extremely satisfied with the weekly Havoc missions, we did get a new and rather large joint expedition mission, which gives you the chance to earn 1 commander's container for each country in the game, 200 doubloons, 3 days of premium, some commendations, boosters, flags, and camouflage. All of that is completely free, which is a great thing for everyone. What's more is that this entire operation can be completed with any tier 4 or higher ship, so it's not making you play something that you don't want. It is a little grindy, but you do have until September 16th to complete it. That said, a lot of us are already probably grinding something else, so it's just icing on the cake. If you were a little disappointed with the Tirpitz campaign, it's nice to have this there in the back pocket, and I do have to say, I do really like this operation. So, good job to Wargaming on this. Once again, you have until the next version update, so I hear, to complete this. And that's all I have for today, I promise. So thank you everyone for listening once again, and of course, I hope to see you on the next one.